All right, it's Cigar Saturday Live here. I'm Tom Fisher. We also have Maddie Ruff joining us from Sanja's. How's it going, Maddie?
What's up there, my brother? What's up there, Edgar? Good to see you gentlemen on this fine day.
Absolutely. It's a real pleasure to have on our show tonight Edgar Hoill. How's it going? What's happening, Edgar?
Everything's amazing, man. I can't complain.
Joining us live from Houston.
From rainy Houston, drinking beer, eating tamales, and putting up dog fences.
Putting up
except for the manual labor part of the dog fence, that all sounded good. The manual labor part, not so much.
and he has a good cigar there with him too. Just all kind of reasons to celebrate. Things are pretty busy at Sanja's tonight. Is that what you're saying, Maddie?
It's party central. So we got a bunch of our friends in there. Look, Bronco said, look, we got some of the usual suspects and some suspects we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah.
So in the back, there's a birthday party going on in the back in the member section. There's members, and outside on the patio, we got some stuff going. So I might be in an alley before the end of the show because I've run out of space.
All right.
And Sanja's always has been popular, but more and more folks they're wanting to come on that Saturday night to be part of the show, aren't they?
That's what I tell myself to make myself feel good. So yes.
Yes.
That's looking awesome.
I stroke that ego.
Yeah.
That's exactly why.
It's awesome, man.
So, Edgar, we know you've done a lot, of course, in the world of photography and a lot in the world of cigars. What's the latest with you? What's happening with you?
And it's, finally moved back to the States. I was out of the country for about 5 years.
Yeah.
Growing tobacco, learning under Mr. Alberto Torrent, which is the biggest San Andres wrapper growers in the world.
Yes.
I want to say they probably provide tobacco to about 80% of the people that use San Andres tobacco in any shape or form, from binder, filler, and wrapper. It comes from the Torrent family. So I was very fortunate enough to get invited by the family, to work with them, learn about growing tobacco, processing tobacco, fermentation. The goal was to kind of learn more about the agricultural side of tobacco growing, but 2 years into the project, I ended up running their whole factory. So I was in charge of, the production around the world for the old brands like Te Amo and stuff like that. And obviously, I was in charge of making new blends for the U.S. market for Casa Torrent.
Very nice. And so some of the newer sticks we're seeing out on the market right now, what's the latest thing you're doing?
Well, right now, man, I actually left working with Casa Torrent.
Right.
I've been, kind of focusing on my brand now since I took over at 100%. I was Christian Eiroa, still making all my cigars for the Osak Nicaragua blends. And then I kind of decided to just kind of go on my own and take over the brand and start selling by myself. So right now I'm kind of concentrated only in Texas and Oklahoma. Basically starting from scratch, man, like 100% by myself. I mean, I'm basically doing from putting cigar rings all the way to gluing boxes, printing boxes. I mean, cellophaning. I'm actually doing everything 100% at the moment, man. But it feels good to be able to do it by myself at the moment,
Now I know when he comes up here, man, I'm gonna go pick you up in Newark, and he's gonna be like, "Yo, put on these work gloves, kid. We got shit to do."
Yeah.
I'm all right, man. What are we doing? So I'm waiting. I'm like, "Yo, what are these Osak work gloves?" Like, we're gonna find out, punk. Let's go.
The craziest shit is that I took for granted a lot of stuff when I worked with other companies, where you didn't have to you didn't have to make your boxes. You didn't have to put cigar rings on your own cigars, which is, I got to do that now, man. But it's really back to basics, man. I'm fucking loving it. I'm enjoying it. I'm not stressing about it. I'm taking my time, no rush in anything. So literally, man, I'm basically enjoying life to the fullest at the moment.
Excellent. That's the way to do it. And so if someone is smoking one of your cigars, there's a chance that you put like the ring on it. Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. Is there a way we can tell if we look at the cigar? Does it have a certain way you put it on that no one else does? Is there a way to actually?
Nah, it's all the same, man. It's all measured. Like
All
it
right.
should be like precise.
It's just
If I do,
precise
it'll be
if it's
ripped to
done
shit,
right.
that's
Yeah.
how you know.
Yeah.
If I'm helping Edgar see little rips and the shit's fucking crooked, I don't be like, yo,
Yeah.
Matty Rocket, don't put that shit on straight, bro.
Don't have.
Yeah, man, it's so easy, man, to overlook that perfection in just putting on a cigar ring.
Right.
Like it's like a centimeter off, and you're like, oh, it's okay, but then it bugs you, so you got to redo it again and redo it again till it's perfect, So, I took a lot of shit for granted, man. But the thing about it that I was in the factory for so long, and I actually helped in the whole process of everything, that I learned how to do it.
Learned it all.
Yeah. So that's
Learned it
kind of
all.
like where I'm at, man. Back to basics, back to square one, starting from the bottom again, man. But I'm fucking enjoying it.
Excellent. Well, it's great to have you here. Anyone who's watching, we appreciate all of our fans that come back and watch every week, and for all of those that are new, thanks for being here. Any questions for Edgar? Ask them down below. Tweet them back. We'll make sure Edgar gets them. First of all, where can people find it? Where are your cigars online? Where can people find them?
So online, you can buy them find them at smallbatch.com, undergroundcigars.com.
Okay.
And privataclub.com, you can find them on there too.
All those places.
Yeah, like pretty much like I said, man, I'm starting from scratch, so I don't have that many people that are carrying my cigars at the moment, and I'm basically just concentrating on the Texas and California region because that's basically the only territories I can cover at the moment. So I'm like I said, man, I'm just starting again from scratch, but man, it's been really, really good.
Yes, and of course, OSOK. For those that don't know, that OSOK is one shot, one kill. Where does that name come from?
The one shot, one kill name actually comes from a photography company. A long time ago, I used to do a lot of photographs of strip clubs, and I did a lot of stuff in like for billboards. So the actual name One Shot One Kill actually was given to me by the owner of Heartbreakers, which is a strip club here in Houston. I was underage when I started shooting for them. I was 17. Well, I wasn't underage, but so what happened when back in the day I was shooting medium format camera, which is a 2.25 by 2.25, like a big negative, and we shot a whole bunch of film, and all the film got destroyed except for that one shot. And it was actually like a chick that was naked on top of a horse. And when the actual owner saw the picture, he's like, and I told him, it's like, hey man, just so you know, the lab fucked up all the film. This is the only picture that was saved. And when the owner saw it, he's like, oh man, you got it. One shot, one kill. And that's where the name One Shot, One Kill came from, out of that project for the billboards here in Houston.
Right. Well,
and this was like in '96.
Yeah, when you mentioned going in at whatever age you were into strip clubs, I thought maybe one shot, one kill had another connotation, like you had to take a shot and get out of there for some reason, or maybe something even deeper. I wasn't
sure. There is, especially when I started shooting like a lot of stuff in my neighborhood, a lot of stuff in different neighborhoods, a lot of stuff when I was going out of the country. I went to Cuba to do a documentary as well. Around that same age, and basically it's kind of like photography warfare. You only have that one shot to take that picture.
Yeah.
So a lot of my photographs are very unique because there's no way that somebody can duplicate it. Now, if you're shooting a car, like say with a background in New York or the background of H-Town or anything like that, you can duplicate that. But you can't duplicate when it's something 100% raw from the streets. It could be either like gangs, drug, whatever related, but that's where also the name kind of just started growing for the One Shot, One Kill, because some other street credit other street photography I was doing from the street credit that I already had earned from the past.
Yes. That's perfect name, and again, a lot of great places you can find the cigar. What you're smoking, Matty? One of the older ones? Is that what you're having there, Matty?
Matty's actually smoking the first cigar that I ever blended for Casa to Rent, which is about 4 years ago. So that's the actual cigar that kind of put the To Rent family in the map, because that's it's a killer cigar. It's It's 100%. It's actually
It's a Mexican puro, right?
It's a Mexican puro, yeah. So,
and you know, a lot of people, and Edgar and I spoke about this years ago when you did it. So a lot of people in the U.S., when they think just Mexican cigars, they go back all the way back to the place to Te Amo, and you know, just drugstore cigars and stuff like this. So we were talking about it. And if you go really far back, I believe it was called the El Presidente, but it was a very expensive cigar that Te Amo made that was actually a Mexican puro. And I have to tell you, anybody who smoked it, when I say off the hook goodness, that natural sweetness, the earthiness, the perfect balance and body. So people who are, you know, just have something in their head that, you know, this is a dime store thing that I get in an Optimal Place or Te Amo. I'm like, it is so well-rounded. The taste, the everything is just absolutely perfect. So he was busting my balls. Remember the first time I'm like, dude, is this a Mexican photo? And he looked at me, yeah, man. And I'm like, dude, this thing is money, bro. And if you have the opportunity to find them, you know that Patel guy's got them.
Yeah.
And, absolutely amazing stick. Comes highly recommended. And you know, my boy knows how to blend, man. I mean, this thing is money.
Yeah, obviously, you know, being in the industry, I always heard rumors that a lot of company in the industry use Mexican tobacco, but they would never give it the credit saying that it's Mexican tobacco. The other drawbacks, like when you think of a Mexican cigar, you think like a fake Cuban. So I actually did the research to find out who was making those fake Cubans that they sell all over Mexico. Those cigars actually brought in from Cuba. They're not even Mexican cigars. I mean, Mexico makes the boxes, the labels, and everything, but those cigars are actually Cuban cigars, but it's like the leftovers of fucking everything they have, right? So that's one of the reasons that I was like, well, I need to, you know, when I decided to leave the country to learn about the growing process of tobacco, I was like, well, I'm gonna, you know, I feel comfortable being in my own country. So that's kind of where I started, you know, looking to see where I could work at an apprentice under the Mexican company.
Right.
Obviously, when I got there, I mean, it was such a big surprise to find out that I was loading these truckloads of tobacco and tons and tons of tobacco. And, you know, all this tobacco was getting shipped to, you know, Nicaragua, Honduras, Dominican Republic. So I'm like, dude, all these fucking people use Mexican tobacco, but I've never seen them fucking say that it's Mexican tobacco, man. And that kind of bugged me a lot. So when I work with the Toronto, I'm like, you know what? We're going to make a Mexican puro so people can really know what Mexican tobacco is about. You know, when people, you know, back in the day with the Te Amo, which is part of the Toronto family too, is that, you know, that was during the cigar boom and they had like 3 different ships. They weren't fermenting the tobacco the way it's supposed to be fermented. So they were just putting out as much as they could, like everybody else in the industry. So that's why I think Mexican tobacco has like a bad reputation, but I'm here to fucking change that for sure.
And you're still using the Mexican tobacco in many of your cigars.
Yes, I'm actually growing tobacco. So I'm growing about personally, I grow about 5 acres of tobacco with a couple of business partners in San Andres. And then now I teamed up with Noel Rojas. So I'm actually doing a bigger project with him. And I did a project with him called Los Tejanos, which translates to the Texans, where the wrappers actually comes from the tobacco that I grow with my other partners.
That's amazing. So these so you just started the tobacco fields not too long ago, the new ones?
Yeah, well, the tobacco I've been growing for about 5 years.
Wow.
I personally don't own any of the land. In Mexico, it's really hard to buy the land from people, so it's actually cheaper to rent it from people. So what we do, we buy land that we're gonna work, and we change the different lands every year. So we'll work with one family 1 year, then we'll switch to a different family the next year, the different family the next year. That way, they have time to rotate the crops, and it doesn't, kill the soil from the tobacco growing process.
Excellent. And and again, we'll talk about, for those people that haven't tried your cigars also, and make sure you look for Edgar, One Shot, One Kill, OSO Kill there on Instagram. Any place else that's good to find you? Is that the main place you're
That's the main place. I mean,
Yep.
that's really the only thing I can do at the moment with all the stuff that I'm doing myself.
Right.
That's really the only media, that and Facebook. And Facebook's just Edgar Hoil. But that's really the only place where you want to figure out what I'm fucking doing every day. Is probably, I'll be the best place to do it at.
We don't want to forget the photography and stuff. I know a bunch of your stuff is on Amazon, bro. So let people know where they can find the rest. Because I got to tell you, we've had artists and, on the show before.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how all of this ties us together, which is just amazing stuff. So
man,
so pretty amazing, man. So let them know where they can find your stuff besides Amazon.
Well, actually, if you want to check out something that one of my biggest projects that I did, if you guys have Amazon Prime, you can actually check out my documentary that I directed. Okay. It's called Tattoo Nation on Amazon Prime. Obviously, I couldn't really give myself credit on the documentary because at the time I was doing stuff with National Geographic and the History Channel. So it was kind of like a conflict of interest. But if you look at it all the way towards the end, then you actually see my name on it. So
he just comes out from behind the side. He's like, "Yo." Boom.
But that documentary actually features every still shot is my photography in that film. Everybody that gets interviewed on that film, they're all like my homeboys, people that I work with, and obviously that came from the tattoo books that I have done. I have 7 art books published. So, I have 7 art books published, which are the tattoo times, and then we also have the tattoos from street art to fine art, which is a black and gray book. Then we have Latino art collection, Day of the Dead art collection, and a worldwide flash collection, which is a collaboration with a whole bunch of artists that I've done work with in the art industry around the world, mainly tattoo artists.
Right on. Now that's great. I'm gonna have to check that out. Tattoo Nation on Amazon Prime, featuring a lot of your still shots. I see it's narrated by Corey Miller.
Yeah, Corey's a homeboy. So and a lot of famous people are in it. Like cartoons in it, Travis Barker's in it. But those are kind of like the people that that we interviewed a little bit, so we can get a little bit higher play on it. But I mean, at the end of the day, these are the guys that are getting tattooed.
Yes.
By Jack Rudy. Look at that. That's a nice connection right there. It's like a picture of my greatest hits.
It's the greatest hits. Sanj has it all in the library there.
Yeah.
Famous library there at Sanj.
That.
Got them all.
That's right.
Right on.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Should smoke that tonight. But yeah, man. But between working on the magazines, I started working in the magazines in '97. I was a head photographer for Lowrider magazine, which is like the cars that hop with the crazy paint jobs. I worked for Lowrider magazine. I mean, I worked for trucking, mini trucking, hot rodder. So I worked for Prime Media, which was a company based out of New York. They own I think 90% of the automotive industry magazines. So I was able to shoot for a lot of different magazines, but my main magazine was Lowrider magazine. A couple years after working with them, then I took over a magazine called Lowrider Arte, which is basically artwork that was getting sent in from jails, and we would publish artwork from different jails around the nation.
Very nice. Again, it's Edgar. If you have any questions for Edgar, ask them down below. And again, Maddie, you're smoking. Which one is it? You're smoking one of the early ones.
Again, there, Top.
You're smoking. What is it? You're smoking again?
Let me hold that up. We're kicking.
Hold that up. Show that. Somebody was asking.
It's the Casa Turin limited edition 1880.
And again, that's Mexican photo. And if you're really looking to go out there to find, like, when somebody says, what does that mean? It really, the nuances of all the Mexican tobacco. the one stick. So people are looking, you know, everything I think in artisan fields is always, you're always learning something. So I think to progress your knowledge and everything, everybody out there, ladies and gentlemen, who haven't done it yet, who maybe had a blighted idea on what Mexican tobacco is, should definitely go down there and look to get a couple of sticks, really learn about it, and then you're gonna have a much different idea and a much different feel. You know, Edgar's super modest, man. I got to promise you too. Not a lot of people. And Tom, you and I have spoken about this before. Over the last almost year and a half. A lot of people that I'll call their masters or master blenders think don't go painstakingly back to the beginning to unfold and to learn all the pieces of the business. And that's why I have, you know, mad respect to Edgar, because to do what he's done and then go back to the beginning to do everything again, to really encompass everything in the industry, to learn it is a big deal. And I feel that a lot of people are just trying to take that elevator ride to the top, have somebody blend something for them that has never actually touched the tobacco or been to a field or really understand what blending is. You know, Edgar's, again, like I said, to do it and then to go back from the beginning and to do it again to really encompass all those intricacies of tobacco is just amazing to me. And Matt Kwan, bro.
Thank you, brother.
Well done.
Yeah, one of the things that I realized pretty early, you know, working with with Camacho and Davidoff, and when I started seeing all these people doing boutique brands, right? I realized really quick that none of those guys, not all of them, but most of the guys, then they were just going to factories, finding a cigar that they had 10, 20, 100,000 cigars laying around, and they were just slapping their name in it without knowing what's actually in them, you know. So I didn't want to be labeled as one of those persons as I got older. You know, I wanted people to be like, okay, so I wanted to pay my dues. You know, growing the way that I grew up is like you gotta fucking pay your dues to get the respect that you deserve. So that's one of the main reasons I left the country. I mean, I basically sold everything I had, you know, left to Mexico, to San Andres, and started. I mean, I was living pretty crazy over there, but it's like, you know, the whole purpose of me doing that is so I can at least not be labeled as a person that was just buying cigars and slapping my name on it. You know, that's one of the reasons I did that. And one of the biggest things that I want to talk about is that people think that there's just Negro San Andres. You know, in Mexico, there's Negro San Andres, there's a Habano San Andres, which is a Cuban seed they grow in Mexico. You know, there's a Criollo San Andres, there's a Sumacho San Andres, there's a Connecticut San Andres. There's all these varieties of tobacco that they grow in Mexico, but nobody knows about them because nobody gives it the credit that it deserves, you know? But everybody in the fucking industry uses them, you know? So I just wanted to add that there's just not Mexican Negro San Andres. There's all these other varieties of tobacco that is grown in the San Andres Valley.
And what do you think that's happened with that it hasn't gotten the credit it deserves? What do you think that is?
Man, to be honest with you, man, I just think people didn't want to give up the secret of where they were getting badass tobacco from, you know?
Right.
You know, there's manufacturers that say that they have Nicaraguan puros or Dominican puros, and I'm like, no, you don't. I shipped you fucking 20 tons of this tobacco to your factory specifically for what blend it was made for, right? So, you know, I just think it's kind of like they wanted to keep it as a trade secret,
right.
But you know, the bad thing about that it was giving Mexican tobacco a bad name, man, and that really hurt. You know, especially being Mexican, being from that country, you know, it's like, man, like we need to make sure that the tobacco that people are using gets the credit it deserves, and that's kind of like my project and my process about doing stuff now.
Right, and it's getting more and more of that, and you're helping that process. Do you think that's still happening too much? People going into when they start a brand, going into factories, slapping labels. Has that decreased some with the transparency, or you think it still happens too much?
No, I think it still happens a lot, man. You know, there's no real secrets in the tobacco industry, man. You can fucking find out anything in a heartbeat, and then it just depends how people want to play it out, man. And that's kind of like you know, that's just the way things are, you know. And then I try to be like, you know, when people ask me about anything that I do, man, I tell them 100%. Like, if I'm not fucking doing good, you're gonna fucking know that I'm not doing good. If I'm doing great, you're gonna know that I'm doing great, man. Like, I don't fucking hide anything. You know, I'm not trying to fucking be somebody that I'm not. You know, I'm 100% what I am, and that's because I was raised that way, especially in the area that I grew up in. You know.
What's up, brother? What's up? What's up,
What's
Tom?
up?
How are you guys?
It's good to see you.
What's up, brother? My carnal.
Carnal.
Yes, sir.
Great.
What's up, Edgar?
What's up, brother?
I told you it's a full house up in here.
It's pretty fucking awesome.
I got the Edgar Army here today, yo.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, I've been sitting with my little bucket.
Yes.
That my brother overpaid for it.
I gotta live vicariously through you, man. I'm drinking a Starbucks cold brew. Tom, what do you got kicking over there today?
I'm tasting a few different things. I'm having some rum, barrel aged Glenlivet Caribbean rum cask, which is going really nicely with my cigar. And I'm also doing a little Peerless bourbon. I'm trying a couple different things. I like to go back and forth. And tell us down below what you're smoking, what you're drinking, and make sure you take a chance and like this, share this, retweet it for that chance to win the bourbon barrel aged coffee from our friends at Janice Coffee Roasters. And go to bourbonblog.com/coffee. Check out our own blend with Janice, and we'll pick that here in just a little while. Is that one of your favorite pairings? You like doing Modelo with cigars usually, Edgar? What else do you like pairing with cigars? Any favorite pairings?
Man, my actual favorite pairing is cigars with Diet Coke.
Oh yeah, that's your favorite?
Yeah, man. To be honest with you, but you know, people always ask me that question. It's like, oh, what kind of, you know, rum or what kind of whiskey? What should I drink with your cigar? Now, I basically tell them, man, you fucking drink it with what tastes good to you.
That's right.
Bottom line. So I would say Diet Coke is my number one, and then Modelo is my number two.
Diet Coke, Modelo. I like.
So, you know, like I said, man, it depends on your palate, man. You know, there's a lot of people that love smoking cigars with coffee. There's people that love smoking cigars with chocolate. So, see, look, there we go. So it just depends on your palate, man. Whatever you like, whatever makes your palate tingle, that's what you should be drinking and smoking at the same time.
Look, and because Walken is here, you know, he hand delivered the craft Virgil's root beer.
That's right.
Because, you know,
he brings it.
I can't live vicariously through you guys. So when I have my craft beverages, it has to be craft root beer.
Nice. That's fucking awesome.
Because we don't want El Bruto Loco Matty Roxo or El Borracho Matty Roxo. We gotta kick it with the no alcohol root beers.
That works. There's nothing wrong with that, man. As long as you're happy, that's all that fucking matters.
That's right.
I'm always happy, man. One too many knocks to the head keeps me always happy.
Where what might we be seeing you this year, Edgar? You going to any of the cigar shows? You gonna be on the road at all? Where might we be seeing you?
Well, I'm gonna, you know, like I said, I'm on the road 100% at the moment. Here with you know, with OSAG. So at the moment, I can only really take care of like Texas and Oklahoma. But I mean, my goal is by next year January to start going back to, you know, New York, New Jersey, and PA. You know that.
I just heard Stein say under his breath after you said Texas and Oklahoma. I heard Bloomfield, New Jersey. You hear that?
Yeah. You know that's gonna be the first fucking place I'm gonna stop. And Sarge fucking knows that, dude. As soon as I land, he's the first person I see. I'll be like, dude, I'm fucking starving. I just flew in. We need to get some food and start smoking, man. But he knows he's always the first customer I always stop to see. That's like religiously what I do every single time I'm in that area. So
when you get here, dude, you got to see what he's done upstairs. It's crazy. I know, Tom, we were talking about it on other shows. I mean, it's about 100% gutted up there now.
Nice. It's been a while since I gutted anything, but it's good. But yeah, man, I'm getting ready for next year. I'm actually smoking right now the new OSAG Connecticut with Mexican tobacco. So it's gonna be another little project that I'm doing to try to put Mexican tobacco like on the map again. So that's basically what I'm doing now.
So that was not out yet then.
No, this is not out yet. This is
He's
we're
teasing
still.
you and shit, man. That's what Edgar does,
He's
bro.
teasing us.
He's like, it's delicious, but you gotta wait.
We gotta wait. When will we be seeing that one, Edgar? When's that coming out?
It depends how fast I can make boxes and glue them and print them. So I'll say about
as soon as you click end on this, Tom, he's in the back. He's got that.
He's gonna have those labels ready.
He's like, bitch, I wasn't kidding. I'm doing this by hand. Nailing it.
Man, you can look at my Instagram, man. You can see that everything I do is 100% by hand, man, because I have to do it. I got no other choice, man. So, I'm very
in 5 minutes just from putting them fucking labels on wrong. He'd be like, yo, you're out. I'm like, what, man? Give me time.
Yeah,
10 minutes for each stick, Matty.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate, man, to have like a family that really supports me, man. So, sometimes my daughter and my sister, they come around and they help me glue boxes together. And we're there all day, man, just fucking gluing boxes together, putting them together, man. So, I get a lot of support from my daughter and my sister. So that's fucking awesome, So it's a family affair, so it's, it's what makes me happy, man. 100%, family.
Right. To be able to do it with the family, that's so good. And we'll be watching here in the near future for your new Connecticut. Any other new ones that are going to be released next to Connecticut, or is it mainly going to be the Connecticut that you're releasing?
That's probably going to be it, man. I mean, I'm still working. I'm still doing really well with the Osak blend, the Osak Nicaragua blend, and the Osak San Andres blend. So that's still going. Like I said, I'm just waiting for the moment to be able to take the next step, man. And like I say, I'm not, I'm a pretty big guy, dude, so I do little steps. But I make sure those little steps are done correctly. So, that's kind of where we're at right at the moment.
Well, to tease it even more forward, to get people excited about the Connecticut, what flavors do you bring in to that Connecticut? What do you like about it?
What I like about this Connecticut, man, is that it's naturally, I'm using a lot of Habano San Andres, and I'm actually using the part that's called Banda Clara San Andres, Banda Clara Habano San Andres, which is a very thin leaf. It's almost like tissue paper thin. So it's very creamy, man. It's very sweet. It's there's no pepper, there's no spice, man. It's just a very clean flavor. But then I'm mixing it with with Negro San Andres, tercer corte, which is like a third priming, which is a little bit thicker. So that's where you get like the little bit more body into it. Habano San Andres is a very medium, very subtle flavors. But then when I added that third priming of Negro San Andres, and I'm using the thickest leaf that we can get, which is almost like cardboard. So it kind of, levels out the flavor profile. So from the Negro San Andres, you're going to get very little pepper spice, but a lot of more like dry fruit flavors, cocoa, dark chocolate, from the process that we're using. Because actually all the tobacco that I'm using for this Connecticut blend is actually 3-year age minimum.
Oh, wow. Very nice.
So,
yep, and you just got a little education of the Viso Seco and the Hero. There we go.
Oh, yeah, dude. You know what? In Mexico, we don't use those terms, man. So
yeah, that's why that's why people are like, and that's and that's what we talk about. So he just said, we've talked about a whole bunch of different episodes. So I was telling you what leaves, the power, the priming, and everything. So it's pretty cool. And then people who are just like, what? I'm like, yeah, that's that terminology out of Mexico for that.
Yeah, man. Like in Nicaragua, they use the word capote a lot, which for us is binder, and capote is the wrapper. So it's backwards. So when I talk to people about blends, sometimes they're like, oh, like I don't know what the fuck you're saying, because they're not used to the terminology or the words that we use in Mexico to identify certain tobaccos. We don't use like Viso, Seco, none of that stuff.
Well, that's when you got to take them from Esteli, and when you're there, you're like, you're in my house now, all right?
Yeah,
How we talk here, baby.
that's right.
Excellent stuff. Again, it's Edgar Hoil. If you have any questions for Edgar, ask them down below, and we will have this video up permanently. You can see all of our videos. YouTube.com/bourbon blog is the place to go, and also our podcast channel as well. We're continuing to put those up every week there on Anchor.fm/bourbon blog for our Cigars Saturday. As we continue to well over a year and a few months, or a month or something like that, Maddie. 60-some episodes.
That's fucking awesome.
Yes, oh my gosh, we've had a lot of fun every Saturday. We should
I
probably
started. I had no white in my beard. My hair was short.
That's pretty cool, man.
Clean shaven, short hair, no gray. What happened to us, Tom? What happened?
I don't know. It's happened. By next year, are you thinking you may see even more white? What do you think?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Although I think now that everything's starting to open up and we're all starting to breathe a little bit, I would like to think that all of us will be a little bit less stressed.
Right.
We'll all be out there doing what we do best, and that's seeing and talking to people.
Oh, yeah.
And being around our friends. So like Edgar's going to be back on the road next year. So I'm still going to drag him to New Jersey at least once before this year is over. He knows that shit. He'll be like, come on, man.
Yeah, man. So like I said,
put those labels on, bro. I got this.
So I'm actually, I'm excited to be back, man, because I'm working on a new project. I'm going to start working on my 20-year photography book. I've been working on it for about a year. But now that project's going to get a little bit bigger because it's actually going to have most of my art collection that I have from artists from around the world. You know what? Let me go to my garage real quick. I can show you a little bit of what I have. Yeah, man. So I'm really excited about this project, man, because it's actually art pieces that not that many people have seen. And these are from different artists, from around the world, especially like my homeboys. You guys are gonna meet my girl right now.
All right.
Look at her, just sexy. Look at that.
Okay.
Oh,
Nice.
A little donk action, yo.
That's the girl. All right. Nice. What do we have there? What do you have?
That's actually a 62 Impala. This is my little gallery area. What part of it? Because I have a lot of my artwork. I have it in a vault. I have some very higher piece artwork that I don't keep in the house. I keep it in a vault, pretty safe. So just to kind of give you a little glimpse of what we're gonna be showing.
Oh,
it's
nice.
just like
Very nice.
different artwork from different artists.
Wow. What are we looking at?
So this was an actual collaboration from actually four of my homeboys from Por Vida Tattoo out of Santa Ana, California. And then there's a really famous tattoo artist called Ben Grillo. This is actually the only piece that he's ever done in black and color. He usually just does black and gray. This is another piece from Rick Munoz. Let's see, right there. So that piece right there is actually about 20 years old. Was actually featured in the magazine. So it's it's all 100% airbrushed. I mean, check out the detail on that, man.
Yeah, that is beautiful. The question is, if she's wanted, did they ever find her?
I wish I would have found her. This is another piece right here that's 100% watercolor. This was actually sent to one of my homeboys that was in death row. He passed away, but that's one of his pieces. Then I do have like a lot of art pieces from a lot of the homies that were locked up. So this is actually 100% pen. So this is another one of my homeboys that's locked up. It's actually in San Quentin. So check out that detail on that stuff.
That's
so
incredible.
I'm gonna start showcasing a lot of this artwork too.
That is beautiful. Oh, that's cool. Wow.
And this piece is actually made with all the actual colors in that piece are made with M&Ms. So That's how creative they get in
The
the
actual.
pen. You know?
Okay, let's see that once again. Just now that we know that, so again, the color in this.
So what they do, they actually scrape the color of the M&Ms and they make paints out of it.
That's incredible. I love that.
So
wonder how many M&Ms it took.
I don't know, man.
That's wild. That's so.
But
cool.
Come on, Tom. This isn't like one of those prizes when you go in the restaurant. And
It could be like, can we count the M&Ms? That's really beautiful, though.
Tom wants a new prize now. He's like, how many M&Ms did it take to produce that? That'd be a good prize.
But
Well played.
If you look at this piece right here, this piece is made with 100% Bic pens.
Wow, that's so cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, this is from my homer from San Quentin.
Wow. And
so,
did you decide to do the Bic pins? Is that kind of what he was like? I want to do it with Bic pins.
No, man. It just depends what they're allowed to have.
It's what he's allowed to have. Okay, that's amazing. Wow.
So so I'm kind of really happy about showcasing a lot of I've showcased a lot of my homeboys artwork.
Yes.
In my books, but I never actually showcased any of the artwork that I personally own. And I own, I think, a little bit over 800 pieces of artwork. So,
thank you, Edgar, man. So, guys and gals out there, we just got a sneak peek, literally, of museum stuff. So, thank you, bro. We appreciate you, man.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna actually show you a piece that's actually made with coffee. Let me try to get in here. So this is coffee and M&Ms.
That's crazy.
That's amazing. And so again, they're taking the coffee and they're actually brewed and they're doing the.
So what they do, they take instant coffee and they add water to it. So depending on the shade of brown that they want to get, they add more water to it. So they dilute it to depending on how light they want the color to be. So I mean, they get super fucking creative on that stuff, man. It's so awesome.
Amazing. Have you ever experimented doing that yourself? Like anything with a different that someone's not expecting?
Man, I've done a lot of artwork in my past. A lot of people don't know that I used to airbrush and that I used to tattoo. I really don't bring it up that much. Where people always ask it like, "Oh, you should tattoo me," or "You should do a piece for me." And man, I did it for a long time. I did it for a while when I was, in college. So that's what kept me busy, man. That's what kept me going every fucking day, man. Just drawing and painting and stuff like that. So that's kind of like where we're at with that, So I do a lot of artwork. That's why I'm so passionate about artwork. I'm so passionate, man. When I meet an artist, man, it's like, fuck, like, what do you do? Like, how do you do it? Blah, blah, blah. Because, I know the hard work or what it takes to make an incredible art piece. So.
Absolutely. And again,
when you're someone like me that has absolutely no skill and you're around it your entire life, you appreciate it even more. It's like, Matt, you can't even draw a stick figure, motherfucker. What is that? I'm like, yo, man, I'm telling you, it's a stick figure. But it's like, nah. I'm like, you gotta leave it to the experts with that. And like I said, the beauty of it. And again, we spoke about it in multiple episodes. We've had multiple artists on the show. It just shows the passion of it, and it's amazing how the cigars and the artists and things crisscross each other again. Because when you're doing a band, when you're doing a box, when you're doing that, the passion isn't just about the stick itself. There's so many different facets to that before you get to that finished product. And you get to see how important the art is and the music and everything else that goes into it. And, that's why I love it so much, So, since I'm a kid for 30 years, I've marveled at it, man.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, man, with stuff like that is that you get to, so I'm about to do my 10-year anniversary cigar. So I'm working on the blend on that already. It's almost about 90% there. But actually, the cigar rings are not going to be machine made. They're going to be 100% handmade by artisans that are indigenous artisans that we actually are working with. It's a community where they do a lot of beadwork. So I'm excited, about the 10-year anniversary, man, because cigar rigs it's a work of art, But the guys that I'm working with now, man, it's like an indigenous group which one of my homegirls is actually that she does a lot of like like a lot of she's a nurse, so she goes and takes care of them, does a whole bunch of random things because there are people that live in the mountains in the Sierra Madres, but their beadwork is incredible, man. Let me see if I can find a piece I can show you because that's fucking exciting to me that I'm gonna be able to do something with them, especially because they're part of my culture. But I don't know if you can check that out.
Nice, very nice. I like that.
But that's 100% beadwork, and one of the cool things about that, about the huicholes, is that everything they do, they do it while they're eating peyote. So it's a whole ritual part to it. It's more than just, oh, I'm gonna fucking get paid to make the cigar ring. It's like they go through a whole ritual. You gotta be part of it. You gotta be on it. There's a shaman there that blesses you and does all that stuff. But if you don't go through the whole process, like I say, if you don't pay your dues, they're not gonna do it for you. So I'm being fortunate enough to be able to know people that work with them really closely, and they're actually inviting me to their homes. Wow. So I'll be posting more stuff up like that whenever I get that 10-year anniversary out.
That is so cool. And so every time they do that, they go through the ritual when they're making them.
Yeah, so that's kind of like it's a ritual, man. It's just kind of like like a Native American smoking a peace pipe. Where the huicholes, they take peyote and they start creating artwork, but they don't just do artwork with beads. They do artwork with strings, with feathers. I mean, it's a whole different world.
That's where like the spirituality and the art meet, which makes it even more wild. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about the project, the 10-year anniversary cigar, man, with those cigar rings that I'm going to be doing. So
I think we gotta have you back on, brother, when that comes to fruition, dude.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that'll be dope.
Yeah, because the first time that I actually talked to them about it, man, it's like, my homegirl's like, hey, you gotta bring some food, you gotta bring, you gotta bring this, you gotta bring that, you gotta make them offers to be able to even let you into their community, and I'm like, yeah, whatever I gotta do, I'm down, So yeah, I did a peyote ritual with them, and they're like, they kind of feel you, what your aura is, what your energy is about. And if they don't feel comfortable with your energy, they're like, oh, you can't be, they don't do work for just anybody just because you're going to pay them. So you got to go through the whole process. You got to pay your dues to make it work.
Wow. So, and again, that 10-year, that will be next year? Then the 10
next year.
Next year will be 10 years.
Yeah.
Be featuring a lot of that art. And it's obviously very evident that you're, with your experience as an artist, as a photographer, that attention to detail, you're bringing that completely to the cigars you make.
Yeah, man. It's like anything that I do, man. I'm really, I need it. I like it to be meaningful. I don't care if it's perfect or not, man. But if he has that meaning, there's a purpose or there's a reason why that line is crooked. That's the way that I look at it. So even if there's an artwork that doesn't look perfect, like I know for a fact, there's a reason the artist thought about doing that line fucking crooked instead of straight, right? I don't know if that's too deep, but that's kind of like the way that I view art. And that's why I don't think there's any bad art in the world, man. All the artwork is beautiful because somebody put their energy to make that, because I fucking hate art critics. I do, man, for a fact. I fucking hate them because, man, it doesn't matter what it is, but it's like that person that did that piece of artwork, they put their heart and soul into it when they were doing it. Obviously there's some artists that do it for the money, but I want to say about 90% of the artists do it because they fucking love the artwork.
Yes.
Yep. And there's no critic. You can't really judge someone's spirituality, right? That's what makes it funny. If they're the people, the artist knows why they did what they did. A critic can't look at it and feel that soul form. So yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. So how could you understand and really go into depth and try to critique something which you don't really understand, right?
Exactly. Yeah, man. That's looking off.
That's so cool. So much to look forward to coming from already, but also more and more from Edgar Hoil and his OSOC. cigars, and more. The bookie's going to be coming out with more art. The 10-year cigar. Definitely be following Edgar on Instagram at One Shot One Kill, OSO Kill.
Also kill.
Yes.
Maddie, I gotta show you this piece, man. This is called. This actually came out of Pelican Bay, and it's pushed copper. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, zoom in a little bit more on that.
Nice. Oh wow.
Oh, that is dope, bro.
That is
Love it, bro. Love
Yeah.
it, man.
That piece was actually made by Victor Bono, which is the guy that actually started the Quarter Gang in Watts. So I have some very interesting pieces that I think people will enjoy, you know, when that book comes out.
Yeah. And you're going to feature a lot of those or all those you can in that book.
Yes. Yeah, everything that I own, I'm going to feature in that book.
Nice.
And actually, every piece is going to have its story.
And the story too. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing great work, Edgar. It's so great to have you on Cigar Saturday and to connect with you, brother. It's really good to have you here.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yes. And Maddie, what a great time here tonight. Next week, of course, we always have a new guest every week. What are we looking at for next week?
This next week will be Paul Rosenberg for real for on the reel. So he was out. He'll explain what he was up to when we all see him.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
So he's a good dude. So everybody who doesn't know, whenever you think Eminem, whenever you think Shady, that's the man who builds empires, media mogul, all around great dude, and cigar connoisseur.
Awesome, man. Fuck yeah.
So it'll be a lot of fun, man. So Edgar, hopefully before next year, I get to go pick your ass up at Newark. We get to go knock out some food, talk some shop. Edgar and I, FYI, I've also kicked around a little something that I spoke to him about that we have in the works, but we keep it on the shush, the hush, and the yell for now. But
that's right.
But wait, it's coming.
I'm excited, man. I really appreciate you, man, inviting me to that project, man. You don't even know how thankful I am.
Much love, bro. It's an honor to have you.
I really appreciate it, brother.
Appreciate you, brother. Much love, my man.
Yes, and Maddie, you'll be you've already been on the road a little bit. You'll be back on the road again soon.
Yep. So, like I said, what wound up happening is I think it was done. Everything's done in hindsight, kind of thing, right? So even though things are opening up a little quicker stateside, everyone kind of waited for the bigger events after the July 4th weekend. So, as I'd mentioned, anybody who's thinking about going to the smokers, 3 of them have already opened up. It'll be Orlando, it'll be Connecticut, and it'll be Kentucky. As of right now, Rocky Mountain Cigar Festival is going on. Drew Estate obviously dropped some big news with the 25th anniversary party that'll be out in the outskirts of Texas, Fort Worth.
I'll be there.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope, man. So we're gonna have a blast with that. And like I said, all the things that we missed, I'm blessed that we've gotten to do things this way. Technology has helped us stay together. But I think people like us, our life and our job is to be around other people. So all looking seriously forward to being around everybody again.
That's
fucking awesome.
Yeah, we're looking forward to being back out there. We will be back out there again with our bourbon tastings. Hopefully, it's a lot of cigar events to support everything Maddie's doing to bring in some great whiskey. And if you want to learn about our tastings, bourbonblonde.com/tastings is the place to go. And again, to follow Edgar, that's where you follow him on Instagram.
Yep.
Edgar, I look forward to hopefully
to let everyone know.
Yeah.
For Tom, it's good to let everybody know, Tom, that now Tom is getting back on the road as well. So if you're looking to do pairings, tastings, whether it's just you're looking strictly for the spirit side, whether you're looking for spirits and a handshake with the cigars, reach out to Tom. We'll work together to put events together for you. Like I said, now that we don't need to have 10 or 15 or 20 people and it's getting back to normal, let us know what you have in mind and an event will be tailored for you.
That's right. We'll tailor an event just for you. And Right there's the place to go.
Fuck yeah, that's
Good
awesome.
time, man. Is it still raining?
It's stopped for a little bit, but
Stopping for a little bit.
there's actually like a hurricane warning, so
Oh,
we're kind of just on the, with making sure that we're following the news and stuff like that. I got a message this morning saying that there's some people evacuated in Louisiana, so we kind of got to make sure that we just keep watching the weather, man. But it's Houston, man, and then we go through this every year, so we know kind of like we prepare ourselves for the worst, and just wish for the best, So that's kind of where we're at right now.
And you got your day-to-day weather. Here was about 90 and humid today, so you sent some of the regular Houston jazz up to us, bro.
Yeah.
Same out there, Tom. What do you got?
we had about 90 something degrees today, so it was one of the warmer days so far. So
yeah, well, the crazy thing right now that it was like 85 degrees like 2 hours ago. Right now it's probably like 65. So the weather changes.
Sounds like Mother Nature's been hitting that meth pipe again.
yeah, a good party there with all those tamales and great cigars.
Yeah, in Texas there's seasons that I never even heard of. So I think we got like 8 different seasons in Texas, not 4.
Are you a tequila fan as well, Edgar?
Yeah, man, I'm a big tequila drinker.
Yeah.
I love whiskey as well.
Yes.
I'm not a connoisseur at all on any of those 2 spirits, but there's things that I can tell you that I really, really enjoy.
Yeah.
So
I enjoy some good tequilas and mezcals myself, in addition to the whiskey. So definitely look forward to seeing you in person and having some of your cigars and trying some great stuff. We are going to draw a name for that, or a number actually for that bag of coffee to all those. And thanks again for all those that keep on watching us every week. We really appreciate it, and who keep sharing it. Edgar, if you would, please pick a number between 1 and 37.
13.
All right. Lucky number 13 goes to Francis Mariella Communications on our Twitter. So thanks for retweeting that.
Oh, snap. What up there, girl?
Yes.
Awesome.
You know who Francis is?
Oh, yes, we do.
Okay, good.
She will one day be a guest. If you're listening, girlfriend, you're going to be a guest on the show.
Yes. Well, good. Francis, thanks for following us and for sharing the video. You get a free bag of that coffee from Jazz Coffee Roasters, and again, that link will take you right to their website. So.
Hey, brother, send me her address. I'll send her a 5-pack.
Nice. All right. Thank you for that.
Francis, you making out. I want half of that statue, girl. You hear me?
You lucked out. You lucked out. Well, hey, this is so much fun with you guys, and much love to everybody there. Sandra, Maddie, Edgar, a real good time with you guys. Really appreciate you being here.
Thank you guys for having me on the show, man. I really appreciate it, man.
Outstanding. Much love for you coming on, brother. Hold on. Sandra wants to say goodbye before we
Absolutely.
check it in.
Good night, brother.
Good night, brother. I appreciate it, brother. I'll see you soon, man. Thanks again for everything, brother.
Cheers, everybody. Thanks for watching. This video will be up permanently. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Cheers.
Much love, y'all. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.